We're so happy and thrilled to have Bill Gueringer on today. Bill is the president, founder, and the CEO of Smart2BGreen and Smart2BGreen.com. Smart2BGreen with an actual 2 in there. And like Mike and I were talking about earlier, Bill, I am a big fan of yours. I already have subscribed to your service way before we ever asked you to come on the show. You created this wonderful website and service for the world out there. And welcome to Green is Good.
Well, it's a pleasure to be with you guys.
So tell us now, when did you start this? What was your epiphany? And give us a little bit about that inspiration.
Well, we started formulating the company back in September of '07, and my inspiration was my lovely wife.
And her name is?
Her name is Mariko.
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 Got it.
And my wife had the idea that it would be good to give people little bits of information, things that would probably help in their day-to-day life. And originally, it was just how do we get the word out? My wife has always been a recycler at home. She's always been concerned with the environment and the way things happen in our neighborhood. And when she suggested a newsletter that would just give very quick tips on things to do, I immediately thought it was a great idea.
And were you before this? Were you guys tree huggers before? Did you do other things that were environmentally conscious, or this was your real tipping point?
Well, I wouldn't say we're tree huggers. We're not perfect people. We never were. We tried to do things that was right, not be wasteful. But we were just like, most people in life.
Right.
And as we became more concerned about recycling and understand the problems that were going on, saving gas, doing this, doing that, we grew with it. As the world started explaining the problems we were having, and we started understanding it, we would do things better than we had done it before.
So you bought the domain Smart2BGreen.com.
Correct.
And you and Mariko started this do we call it a newsletter?
It's a newsletter, that's correct.
And it's a morning newsletter. It comes every morning like a wonderful...
It's published Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Great.
Not Monday or Friday. And the reason that we did that was we thought people might be a little bit more interested if they got it without going into work Monday morning and saying, oh, boy, here's another something I got to deal with.
Right,
and on Fridays, we kept Fridays open because we had plans for if there would be an expansion of it. But, it goes out every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning. And, we try and provide just those little bits and tips, things that we believe would benefit just the regular Joe, not necessarily a tree hugger. What the concept was not to try and change who people were, just give them the ability to change some of the things that they did with real quick bits of information.
Just incrementally, right?
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Just incrementally,
Exactly.
Little easy steps, baby steps, so it becomes a part of their day-to-day DNA.
That's exactly correct. We felt that people would be more receptive to it if they understood that, again, they didn't have to change who they were.
And you encourage people to be part of the solution, which is such a wonderful thing. But you also throw in, humor, and it's not so. It's not just dry. It's actually sometimes quite humorous, and it's just not a dry piece of email. So
exactly
right. So that's thanks to you. So you started this. What was Mariko's and your mission statement when you started this in September of '07?
The mission statement was just simple steps to green living.
Gotcha. That's a nice, wonderful, clear, and simple mission statement.
That's something that everybody could understand.
Simple steps to
greener living.
To greener living. So tell us how has it evolved? What's happened when you started, and walk us through the last 2 years. Now that you're 2 years into it, tell us about the skepticism that you met with, and tell us about the open arms that you were met with.
There hasn't been any real skepticism. The people that we've met at different events have been real receptive. They've liked the message that we delivered to them. I had a lady at an event tell me, I can't really do anything on my own. And I said, no, that's absolutely not true. Everybody can do everything individually. And she said, well, I just started recycling 4 months ago. And I said, congratulations, that's fantastic. Just think, you've begun something that is now saving the environment on some level, saving the raw materials that we use. You've contributed now in just those 4 months in the way you've begun doing things. So the people out there are telling us that they really are concerned about trying to live as well as they can a more sustainable life. We haven't had anybody contact us and say, "What are you doing this for?"
Gotcha. So you got good feedback. People were like the product, and so far it's been a good venture to now.
People have liked it because it's a quick thing, and you mentioned just a moment ago about it being a little humorous. We wanted to kind of make it something people would chuckle a little bit about. If you were going to give them a message about recycling, instead of it being dry and difficult. Generally, a newsletter has, at the beginning, after the topic, it will have a 4 or 5 line poem, a little ditty, we call it.
Got it.
And then it gets into the message.
Got it. All right. Well, we're gonna go to break right now and have a little message from our sponsors, and we're gonna come back with Bill Gueringer and have him talk more about his wonderful website, Smart2BGreen, and Smart2BGreen.com. So all of our listeners sign up for his just wonderful newsletter. Come on back to Green is Good.
If a little green is good, more is even better. Now back to Green is Good with John Shigarian and Mike Brady.
Welcome back to Green is Good, and we're so happy to have Bill Gueringer on the line with us today. Bill's talking about his great newsletter called Smart2BGreen, which helps all of our listeners, hopefully, take simple steps towards a greener lifestyle. Bill, welcome back, and listen, there's lots of green newsletters now. How do you really, you're so clean in your mission, simple steps to greener living. What are you... how do you distinguish yourself from all the big forest of green newsletters now?
Yeah, it's really amazing how many different types of newsletters are out on the web these days. We try and distinguish ourselves with the quick tip that we provide in a newsletter. We call it like a minute. It's a minute tip. Generally speaking, it's a minute or less to get the information.
And how many people now, after 2 years, how many people do you email every day? When you press the send button on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, how many people do you reach?
We've got between 35 and 40,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And we've got another 5, 6, 7,000 followers and fans from different social networks, Facebook,
and Twitter. Then you're all over it. Then
and you built that community yourself. Like you and Mariko did that just by getting the word out and spreading it, or did you have some? Our entrepreneurial listeners always like to know, how did you do that, or do they find you, or did you find them?
A little bit of both, actually. When we started. Our first newsletters were going out to mainly friends and family, maybe a couple of hundred original subscribers. And in the newsletter, it allows you to forward it to a friend, suggest to a friend that they might want to check it out. We've been to some green shows and green festivals where we've had a booth, and people would come by. We'd tell them what the what Smart2BGreen was and what our mission was, and have them sign up for it. So it was just getting the word out, and whoever would listen. I enjoy just telling anybody who's willing to listen that these are real simple, easy things we can all do to make a difference.
So you've picked up approximately, if you just do numerically, 1,500 new subscribers a month over the last 2 years. Is that your average? You're still picking up 1,500, or has that number risen now that the green revolution is picking up velocity?
I think it's risen a bit, and we started pushing on a social network just pretty recently. And the tweeters we've been on the longest, we've probably gotten about 1,000 or so followers on Twitter.
Wow!
In the past 4 months, we're a little over 5,000 with the Twitters, and Facebook we're making pretty large strides in Facebook. People are very interested. There's a younger audience that understands this is what they have to do, and we found those on the social networking.
Well, so the viral marketing component is huge. Where would people find you on Facebook, Bill?
We've got a Smart2BGreen and Bill Gueringer. Either one of those, they'll find us on Facebook.
Hey, Mike, Bill's my friend on Facebook.
Oh, okay, well, I know you got more friends than I do, but I'm going to add Bill too, so there.
I was telling my wife the other night, I feel like it's one big high school.
Yeah,
it really is. Isn't it amazing?
You ask some people to be your friends and they reject you, and other people you ask and they accept you. It's like I feel like I'm 16 again.
Nobody reject you, John. Come on.
It happens. Hey, but Bill, so now you got these wonderful, that's a great subscriber base. So you're making a difference every day. Your mission is actually working. You and Mariko get to influence 35,000 and growing subscribers on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in their lifestyle habits.
That's correct. And,
how wonderful!
It's great. We'll get emails from the subscribers, and they'll say, "I got one today," and the woman said, "I love your tips. I can't wait to get to them every day." And that makes the whole job so much nicer. When you get a message from a stranger saying, "I like what you do,"
right?
It just pushes you on, and you're thrilled to put the next edition out.
So we talk about subscribers, and that's one half of the equation.
Right.
Tell us about advertisers. The other half of a sustainable business model is not only taking care of the people and the planet, but is taking care of the profits. Are the advertisers in the green world out there?
Oh, there's lots of advertisers. There's a tremendous amount of green products, sustainable products. Every day it really becomes more and more. It's much easier to find products that we're thrilled to share with our readers and our subscribers. Each one of the editions, whatever topic we're talking about on that particular day, we tied in with products and information that are part of our advertiser base.
Gotcha. So, this whole Obama administration and the political will that now exists, what is that? How does that relate to your mission and the whole green-collar job creation and the network that's spreading in that world?
Well, it's all a big part of not just the Smart2BGreen message, but the green message that more people that understand what's going on, more people hopefully will accept the Smart2BGreen tips and suggestions for greener living. When the Obama administration talks about green jobs, we've done articles and we've talked about green jobs. When the Obama administration or the government talks about creating products and creating industry that's going to be more beneficial to the lifestyle that hopefully we're going to improve upon every day, it increases our ability to get the word out to our readers. Sometimes they may miss something, and if we talk about solar paneling or wind-generated power, because that's a new industry that maybe the government is helping along, all of that benefits our subscribers, our readers.
Got it. And now, so you and Mariko are actually now part of the green collar workforce also, because you're actually working and doing something green.
We absolutely are, and we try and live as best we can the suggestions that we provide our readers. If it's just a matter of changing the light bulbs or turning the water off, when we make when we give a tip, we're going to live that tip.
But give our listeners some tips on being an entrepreneur and also working with your wife.
It's great working with my wife. My wife is our designer, and I put all the pieces together. So
you're the content and she's the design.
And she's the design. We've got writers that provide the articles for us. We give them the topics that we'd like to address in the upcoming months. And she and I put all the pieces together on a weekly and daily basis sometimes. She designs the newsletters, and she's the creative end of it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
We work very well together. Sometimes I'll have a suggestion, or she'll have something that we may disagree on. But generally speaking, we're pretty much on track with everything that we try and provide.
Well, Bill, with you and Tomiko is really the nuts and bolts of the operation. You say you do have contributing writers. How many people do you have? A core group of people that are contributors, and what's the number of those core contributors?
We've got 3 writers.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, our daughter is one of our writers.
Nice.
This is really a family affair.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It actually is.
That's great.
And we've got 3 writers. We've got someone who takes care of our publicity. We've got someone who helps in our marketing endeavors. It's a kind of a family affair, and I've got a niece who works with us also, and she takes care of the social networking. So we've got a tight-knit crew here.
That is so wonderful. So now, you've created a bunch of green-collar jobs, really.
Yeah, actually.
So now, what's your dream when you go to bed at night and you're starting to see your vision and your mission come to real life here? 2 years into it, 35,000 and growing subscribers, lots of advertisers. What's the next step for Smart2BGreen?
Well, we'd like to have editions in various parts of the country. We'd like to we're going to launch a new edition in Southern California called the Southern California Edition, and it's going to go out on Fridays. And it's going to be tips and things the family can enjoy on the weekends that are not going to be detrimental to the environment. If it maybe a camping trip, maybe a picnic, maybe an event that isn't going to take a lot of energy to enjoy, a restaurant that serves sustainable products and without using a ton of plastics and chemicals and bottled water. So we'd like to take this concept to other cities besides the Southern California will be the first one. We've done some research on where people are more interested at the moment. We've got other cities in mind that we'd like to take the new edition to, because now the newsletter goes out across the country. Actually, we've got subscribers all over the world. So now we'd like to bring it to some of the other cities.
Is it and you have 35,000 subscribers and growing. How many can you get? Like another 2 years from now, how many subscribers? What's your vision? What's your goal?
We're at the moment we're trying to set a goal of 100,000 subscribers.
And when is that? What's the time period for that goal? What's the time? When do you want to hit that?
I think we can hit that in the next 2 years.
That's great. That is really great.
That we can more than double what we've got now at the rate we're going.
Out of all the great stuff that you're doing so far, what's been your biggest success or the proudest moment you've had in your green initiatives and your green mission?
Boy, that's a toughie. I mean, every little success, every time somebody tells us that they've done something because they read about it in Smart2BGreen,
right?
That's a great reward. I can't think of one thing in particular that I would say, boy, we did this and it's changed the world. We're just trying to change people's attitude about it. If I tell someone as an example, it's just as easy to throw that soda can into the recycle bin as it is into the garbage can. So think about it for a second. When you get rid of it, just have that box there for the recycle.
Bill, our listeners love being inspired, and obviously you're unbelievably inspiring, as is Mariko. Why don't you share, you say, these eco-friendly tips are just little steps on their way to living a greener lifestyle. Why don't you share your top 5 little steps that our listeners could, get inspired by? Like what are some of the things you and Mariko do at home that our listeners could start doing without a major shift in their lifestyle?
Well, we put a bucket in the shower, and when we're waiting for the water to heat up, we turn the shower to the bucket, and then when the water heats up, we get in, take the shower, and we use the water from the bucket to water the plants in the house. And also, if there's any left, we use it on the lawn and then the garden outside.
So not wasting waters is step number 1.
Step number 1. The recycling for us was a big thing. A couple of years ago, or a few years ago, we used to have the recycle bin used to go out on the curb every other week, maybe sometimes every third week, and we'd have more trash. Now we know that there's so much that can be recycled. The recycle bin is full every week, and the trash bin has one small bag in it.
Cool.
Recycling is so important, and we tell people, based on what some of the sanitation departments have told us, when in doubt, put it in the recycler. Because if you put it in the garbage, it's going to wind up in the landfill.
Right.
If you put it in a recycler and it doesn't belong in a recycler, they've told the sanitation departments in various cities have told us they will take it out and they'll send it to the landfill.
Well, it's great. It's great people like you and your newsletter that are going to help the landfill rate go from 54% and the recycling rate from 33% in this country and reverse those numbers in the next 5 years.
Well, that's what we're hoping for, and it's so easy to do. It doesn't take a lot of effort.
We have a couple minutes left. Give us a couple more little steps that our listeners could do. And after they hear these tips, they're going to all want to sign up for Smart2BGreen.com. That's Smart2 with a number 2, BGreen.com. Give a couple more tips, and then we're going to say goodbye to our listeners.
Well, just be conscientious of a lot of the new products that are coming out. I'm not trying to plug anything, but Reynolds aluminum that so many of us use, especially as the holidays come along. Reynolds aluminum now has a Reynolds aluminum that's made from recycled aluminum.
And it's a green package.
And it's a green package. That's absolutely correct.
Right.
We think that's a great product.
Yep.
So instead of using brand new, here's recycled.
Right.
So there's just lots of things. If you become aware, if you make yourself available to the new things that are out there.
Well, Bill, we're so thankful that you and Mariko had a vision a couple of years ago to create a website, Smart2BGreen and Smart2BGreen.com, which leads people like our listeners and people like Mike and I to simple steps to greener living. We're thrilled and honored to have you on our show today. And Bill, thank you for being a guest, and you truly are living proof that green is good.
Well, thanks very much. It was a real pleasure to talk to you guys and talk to your audience.